Good afternoon, everyone. This is PreMarket Prep at the close. I'm Spencer Israel. That's Joel Elconin. Joel, uh, dare I say, are we going to end the day unchanged after all of that huss and fuss this morning? Fussing and huffing about cases rising and in Europe and stimulus and this and that and the other. Are we going to end up unchanged?
Buy the dip prevails again here, Spencer, on this Thursday afternoon here on a chilly fall day in Michigan. Pre-market low was 33.75, opened up just above that level, ticked it to 31.50, and before you could blink, we were up in the 34.40 handle. Had a few retreats, ran into a little trouble in mid-range here, but now picking up steam heading into the close. Our closing price from yesterday, 34.81. Your high in the day session right now, 34.80. Who knows? We may even see that pre-market high of 34.8650. So a round tripper here in 24 hours, but back where we started from. So nice recovery in the market today. Crude bounced off the 39.22 low, closes down only 3 cents here at 41.03, still sticking in that trading range, all of it in one day. You have gold up 530 here at 1912.60. Silver in the red or in the green by only 3 pennies, a little bit of a laggard day, up at 24.41 and a half. And Bitcoin hanging out 11,590. That's up $180 on the session.
Yeah, and you were asking, Joel, where's the strength? Well, Walmart is green. The big banks are green. UNH, which we didn't talk about this morning, they had earnings. That's green. So the health insurers are all green. Home Depot, Target also green. So the strength is just sort of all around us. Nothing is really too strong, but I guess whatever was the reason for being down this morning wasn't that strong a reason because I was wondering how fast the buy the dippers were going to come in, if it was going to take them a few days or if it was going to happen today, and it happened pretty much immediately.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much off the open. Now we're at only 3/4 of a handle away from unchanged on the session. Do you want to cover some of those stocks you just mentioned here, or should we
yeah,
go to some from the morning show?
yeah. Well, you know what? Let's just follow up on Fastly real fast because, man, what a day. I don't think I digested that move there this morning, but
Correct.
you could say it was a good day off the open because the low, it opened what at the low. So based on that, there was a silver lining for today, but man, if you came in this morning at 9:45, 10 o'clock and you saw your Fastly, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we let's see, what did we do? This was one where in the pre-market, what was your pre-market low? 86.13. And then you just kind of gave out a buck after that. So if you were using that pre-market low, you would have had to take a buck's worth of heat as it went down to 85.10. But the buy the dippers did come in here. 95 just snuck over $95. And now you're back mid-range on the session. You got up to 95.35, kind of just hanging out in the middle now. So let's see if it can go back even and test that 85.10 low. But there you had a quiet buy here. There was buyers and sellers in the pre-market, but someone definitely brought some stock in, whether it was for a long-term position or to flip it up here 94.95. But you got a big old gap to fill there in Fastly.
And we didn't talk cannabis this morning either. I would have liked to if we had the time, but Afria had earnings and they weren't good, and that's dragging down the whole sector here today. APHA is, of course, your leader since it was their reports. They're down 17.5%, but look around the sector, and they're all down. Canopy Growth, ACB is down, Kronos is down. They're all the big names are going to be down on the backs of this Afria report.
It has a couple good up days, right? Here you go from 420 to 640. Everyone's looking for a nice report. Sell off a little bit ahead of the report and then get slammed on that one. I mean, these stocks, let's see what CGC is doing. I have been keeping an eye on it. I mean, these stocks do have their rallies, but man, they just seem to always get snuffed out or, some kind of earnings thing. Big old move from 16 to 18. Now kind of working back in that range. You did find some support here in CGC, your low 1754. You got within a dime of that today, 1744. So that's a good level. You still want to see it work into this big green bar here. So that's holding up okay. I'm not sure when they report earnings, but let's just take a look at a couple of the other ones. Tilray. I mean, like I said, these stocks have their rallies, but man, you got to sell them on the way up because when they turn hard.
Yep, that's definitely the case. That's the same with every one of these like shiny object sectors, right? Like cannabis and solar and EVs, and as we saw today, cloud with Fastly is when they turn hard. I know we talk about DraftKings every day, and I'm bored of it personally, but I do want to bring it up here for a moment, only because today is a really interesting day for DraftKings. We talked about it this morning. They had the headline about the partnership with Turner Sports. And then so that's good news. And yet the stock is down. More good news came out interday today. The governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, came out and said that it was another record month for sports betting in New Jersey in September. And this is the kind of headline that DraftKings would have rallied on a couple of months ago. When you're seeing the rest of the sector, Penn in particular, all up today on what is essentially a good fundamental headline for the entire industry, and everyone's up except for DraftKings, which is so out of favor right now.
Yeah, it is. And really just going back to that offering that it had, people got stuffed at $52. And that just, once it lost that 52, actually, what did it trade up to yesterday? Traded up to close to that 52.22. Wow, those levels stick around. Had a bad day yesterday, traded down to 47.50. Boy, almost a low $3 lower than that. You got to be thinking about this thing. Maybe we have a date here with $40. Just above that, there's no daily low. If you take out the low from yesterday, no daily low until you get under 41. Three lows in a row: 40.55, 40.30, and 40.33. So not the news is not happening when a stock is going down on what's supposed good news, and
Yeah.
that's definitely not good. But come on, $10 stock in April, $65 stock in October. I mean, you're going to see some profit taking in it, but
For sure,
you
but
don't.
especially when you look at like it's their peers as much as they have peers. I mean,
Sure.
the biggest peers is Penn, but if you look at like other sports betting stocks like Scientific Games, SGMS, it's a good day for the entire industry, the entire sector, except for DraftKings is going the complete other way. So not a good sign. That does not inspire confidence if you own DraftKings.
Yeah, and Penn's holding up nicely, has rock solid support. Under $65. We were talking about that. Several lows. I'm just going to call it, spitball it here, call it 64 when you put all these lows together. I will say, looks like you have someone trying to wiggle out some stock just under 70. Yesterday's high 69.94, today's high 69.55. Also a high 70 right on the nose on October 8th. The day preceding that was 69.89. So no continued upside and penalty. Knock out that seller there at the $70 level. Great support, as I mentioned, at 64.
All right, CJ says he's been asking about ACI Albertsons for a month. We definitely talked about this after the IPO, though I don't know if we've discussed it recently. Not only a couple months of trading action to go off of here. The IPO was back in June, but Joel, ACI will pull up the chart. What do you say?
Let's see. I have not looked at this one, so I can't even speculate on a price. You did do the old traditional undercut the low, the IPO low, as you can see that. It undercut it and undercut it good. And then it undercut it again. So I would say, I mean, it's definitely not. I mean, you definitely want to see it back above its IPO price before you get real excited. But just short term here, this is what you got to do. You got to knock out this seller here at 1480. Not today. 1435 was the high today. Three highs in a row. 1480, 1476, and 1483. So right there's a triple top. On the dailies, had a kind of a little bit of a triple quad top here and rolled over. Here it had the highs in the same area. It was able to bust through. Coming back on the downside here, 1404. Yeah, was your low on October 9th, 1407 today. So little trading range, holding 14, good for the bulls. Breaking out, getting rid of that seller above 1480. That's really what the bulls need to see here. And I guess I could do this is kind of new, but maybe get a quick retracement, see where we're at, in the whole scheme of things. Boom, 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 boom. Half of that comes in right near $15. So there you go, folks. There's your bogey. Clearing these daily highs here for more upside in Albertsons.
Oh yeah, IPO price there is $16, and the lockup expiration is still a few months away. So 16 is your bogey on ACI. What else? Where do we want to go? Let's go to the chat. What's the chat talking about here? Oh yeah, the trade desk. Yeah, Alex is right, Bill Big D. Saw this as well. Did they caught a downgrade this morning?
It did. It did.
For the actually no, it's only the first downgrade. There was an upgrade or a raised price target yesterday from Needham, but a downgrade today to neutral from KeyBank. So analysts going in opposite directions here. And
yeah, I mean, they got it. They got it good. It made that all-time high yesterday. The boat was loaded. I mean, what have we talked about? 13, 14 highs in our daily highs, new all-time high in this one. So just good timing on the downgrade. People taking profits on this one, trying to hold 600. But, that's just kind of, you get old people leaning on the breakout, looking for, 700 and get the downgrade. And just good timing on that one. A much-needed pullback. Had a red bar yesterday. Now they're one today. It's hard to say, what, if this thing's going to go down to 550 and find support. But analysts making a call, making a move on that one, and they made a good one if you followed it. Who was it that did that?
Today it was KeyBank with the downgrade.
Okay.
It tagged it good.
Okay, and just taking a look at. Just going back to the gaming here, PDY. What is this? PDY. That's a lot of symbols.
Those are the owners of FanDuel.
Right. PDYPF. Right.
Yeah, that's Flutter. That's Australian based. They own FanDuel. So they're obviously the direct. They're the direct play on DraftKings.
Yeah. Bunch of day. I mean, this is traded overseas, obviously, so the secondary market, but this needs to get through 170 over there. And with a trading this in Europe, you got a seller there at 170. Couple days in a row, but really, your last five highs between 169 and 170. The low is similarly close on the downside at 167. So 170 a breakout. That's also been monthly resistance here. Monthly resistance, what was your high here? 172 and a quarter. So just hanging out near all-time highs, consolidating. So surely not trying to go down, but doesn't have the momentum to break out to the upside as of yet.
No, it doesn't. You always got to be careful. Obviously, this stock is not very active in the U.S.
Not at all.
Yep. So that factors, as large a company it is, it's a huge company. You got to factor in the fact that it's not super liquid, at least for U.S. investors and on the U.S. market. So keep that in mind. What about Carvana? That's on PJ's radar. CVNA. I always see those giant Carvana towers around.
Rock solid support, 210. Look at that. You did sneak through it yesterday, 210 today, 210, 210, 210. And getting a rally off that. You are about to match your high from Tuesday, 225 and a quarter, 224.83 today, pressing up against that. So there you go. Found support. Really, it was from 207 to 1052. Kind of need a little bit of a wider area in a $200 stock, but now making its way up after taking me out on the triple D bet at 235. A little bit of a pullback and heading back north again. Your next daily high 232.34. But first things first, we gotta get rid of that 225 seller selling up near. Looks like we're going to settle near that area. So little momentum going into tomorrow.
Just to kind of look ahead here, earnings calendar is very, very quiet today. We're the only report after hours that looks interesting to me remotely is Del Taco, but that's not really that interesting. Tomorrow,
What's that, taco?
Yeah. Tomorrow morning, VF Corp, Schlumberger, JB Hunt, and State Street and Kansas City Southern are the only interesting reports that I see. So really just not
Street leading long here into the taco maker here. I know Raz likes this one, making a new high for the move. We're back above our levels from February. We are now moving in. What do we got on the monthlies here? Your next monthly high comes into play. Oh, this is interesting. 1132. You didn't get quite there today. I guess 1039 and 1079. Those are also these are actually weekly highs in that. So get closer to 11. You might find some resistance, but good day. Street leaning long into the taco report.
Yeah, I've never had it. We talk about this every time. I've never had it. You've never had it. But the chat's saying Del Taco is really good, so they must not be around here.
Nope. I'll go back and reiterate, man. These drive-through lines at all these restaurants are just packed.
That's the truth. What else did I want to see here? Oh, let's take a look at Twitter real fast, only because it's cooled off here now, right? We talked about this a few days ago, and it was at a 5-year high. It's off those highs now, and all over the news today with some more call it mismanagement of their platform. But Joel, thoughts on Twitter here? It's flat for the day. Nothing really eventful, from a daily perspective, but just in the grand scheme of things, we're now off those highs from that we saw last week.
Someone tried to juice it, right? Was it earlier in the week with the price target raise? Was that on Monday or Tuesday? Or was that from last week? Didn't someone upgrade it or something?
It was That was, it was Deutsche Bank on Monday. Good call.
Monday. Look at that. Top ticked it, high of the move. Deutsche Bank. Got a little bit stuffed on that one. Ooh. I mean, these ratings can go one way or another. Here, the street decided to fade it. I know there was a little bit unfavorable news with the whole New York Post article. And there's a lot. There's a lot to be said for, the support here just at the $44 area and trying to get back up near 48.
All right. What do you know? It is 3:59, almost 4 o'clock, Joel. Are we at Unchanged for the day? Did we get there?
We hit Unchanged right on the kisser, Spencer. Yeah, they must have been listening to you. As of right now, with a minute to go here, 16 minutes to go before the Spoos close at 4:15, we got up to 81, and that was the close from yesterday. Backed off a little bit. Maybe we had a few selling balances there, but strong heading into the close. Good day for the market. We got our bogeys overnight. Can we clear 81 as well as that pre-market high at 86.50? But market recovers from that early morning tumble. Really no major earnings to move it overnight. So we'll see if we get some good news overnight. Get back into that 3,400 handle.
Yeah, Neo kept going too. Not quite a washout. Not at the highs. Not quite a washout. Somewhere in between.
Jeez,
but it kept going.
What a move! Yep. Yeah. All right, we'll take a look at that one tomorrow.
All right, that'll be it for us. Please remember all the information from our shows are meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Everyone have a good rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.